making suggestions with should and ought to. Should and ought to.
Should and ought to are commonly used to provide advice, make recommendations, and express opinions about what is the right thing to do. In this lesson, we will explore how to use these expressions correctly. Should usage. Should is widely used in both informal and formal contexts. It is used to make suggestions, recommendations, or express opinions. It can be followed by a verb or used as a standalone statement.
Examples: you should eat more vegetables. All employees should wear a name badge. We should plant some flowers in the garden. Could you please turn off the lights when you leave? You should save energy. Ought to usage. Ought to is slightly more formal than should. It is used similarly to should for making suggestions, recommendations, expressing opinions, or giving advice. Like should, it can be followed by a verb or used as a standalone statement. Examples: you ought to visit the museum while you're in town. He ought to attend the meeting to stay informed. We ought to have a picnic in the park. Could you pass me the salt? You ought to use a little less. Politeness with should and ought to. Both should and ought to can be used to make polite requests. When used in this way, they are usually followed by the base form of the verb. Polite requests can include suggestions or advice, making them courteous. Examples: could you please pass the salt? You should probably use a little less. Could you turn off the lights when you leave? You ought to save energy.
Huh?